The greatest evidence of healing isn't how much more you can endure, it's what you finally decide you no longer have to carry. Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred space where strong Black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And I am your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Today, I had the extraordinary privilege of sitting down with Anastasia Barnes Holmes, a woman whose life's work has been about making the world a better place, one boundary at a time, one healed heart at a time, one reclaimed identity at a time. Anastasia is a wife, mother, educator, counselor, advocate, nonprofit leader, and community servant. But more than any title or degree, she is a woman who has learned to stop abandoning herself in order to preserve everything else. And that, my friends, is revolutionary. In our conversation, Anastasia shared something that stopped me in my tracks, something that I believe will fundamentally challenge the way you think about strength, healing, and what it means to truly become whole. She said that healing is not always about becoming stronger in the way high achieving women are taught to define strength. Sometimes the deepest healing is learning that constant endurance is not the same as wholeness, and that peace, rest, and boundaries are forms of power, not signs of weakness. Let that settle in for a moment. We have been taught, conditioned, trained to believe that strength means enduring more, carrying more, surviving more. We wear our ability to withstand pain like a badge of honor. We say things like, I can handle it. I've been through worse. I'm strong. And we are. We absolutely are. But what Anastasia is inviting us to consider is this: what if the truest measure of strength is not how much more we can endure, but what we finally decide we no longer have to carry? This is the question at the heart of today's conversation. This is the shift that defines the soft girl era. Anastasia spent years being the woman everyone could depend on. At home, in leadership, in advocacy, and service, she was the one who showed up, who solved problems, who carried the weight. And for a long time, she called that resilience. But over time, she realized something profound. Some of it was resilience, and some of it was survival. Learning the difference, she told me, changed everything. I want to pause here because I know many of you listening right now, you understand exactly what she means. You have spent years functioning while hurting. You have walked into rooms, performed at high levels, advocated for others, met deadlines, cared for your children, fulfilled professional responsibilities, all while privately carrying betrayal, disappointment, emotional wounds, and pressure. You have been strong, you have been capable, you have been dependable, and you have been exhausted. Anastasia's story is not unique, it is familiar. It is the story of so many high achieving Black women who have been taught that their value is tied to their capacity to endure. But here's what she learned, and here's what she wants us to know: you can be capable and still need care. Strength does not cancel out the need for support, softness, or rest. Let me say that again. You can be capable and still need care. This is not a contradiction. This is not weakness. This is humanity. And yet, how many of us have been made to feel that needing care, needing rest, needing support is somehow a failure? How many of us have been told directly or indirectly that if we are strong enough, we should not need anything from anyone? Anastasia shared with me that one of the most difficult parts of her journey was recognizing that some of the most painful experiences of her life came through people and places where she expected to feel safe. She experienced betrayal, disappointment, complicated relationships, leadership conflicts, emotional wounds. And she had to reconsider what loyalty, love, forgiveness, boundaries, and self respect actually mean. This is the work of healing, not the Instagram version, not the version that says you wake up one day and everything is fine, but the real, messy, ongoing work of becoming. Anastasia told me that healing does not always look like becoming the person you were before something happened to you. Sometimes healing means allowing the experience to introduce you to a woman you had never met before. And that woman, she said, is the woman she is becoming now. She does not need to prove that she can survive difficult things. She already knows she can. Now she is asking different questions. What makes me feel safe? What brings me peace? What relationships are reciprocal? What am I carrying because it is truly mine? And what am I carrying because everyone became accustomed to me carrying it? What does my life look like when I stop making decisions solely around what everyone else needs from me? These are the questions that define the soft girl era. These are the questions that lead us from survival to softness, from endurance to peace, from proving to becoming. And here is where Anastasia's insights become even more powerful. She shared three key takeaways that I want to make sure we all hear clearly. First, you can be capable and still need care. Strength does not cancel out the need for support, softness, or rest. This is permission. This is freedom. This is truth. Second, boundaries are a form of self respect. Saying no, protecting your peace, and choosing reciprocity are not selfish acts. They are leadership habits. They are acts of love. They are how we honor ourselves and teach others how to honor us. Third, healing changes your definition of power. Real growth is not just surviving difficult experiences, but learning what you no longer have to carry. Let me repeat that. Real growth is not just surviving difficult experiences, but learning what you no longer have to carry. This is the shift. This is the transformation. This is the soft girl era. Now, I want to share with you some real world examples of what this looks like in practice, because this is not just theory. This is not just inspiration. This is a movement. Consider the story of Tarana Burke, the Black woman organizer and activist who founded the original Me Too movement. Burke worked in a cultural environment where survivors, especially Black girls and women, were often ignored, disbelieved, or expected to stay silent. For years, she worked directly with young women and girls whose experiences were overlooked by institutions and mainstream media. She sat with their pain. She listened to their stories. She carried their trauma alongside her own. And she made a decision that would change the world. She refused to carry pain in silence. She named the harm. She reclaimed her voice. And in doing so, she gave millions of others permission to do the same. She centered survivor support, community care, and public awareness, building a movement that made hidden harm visible. Her work became globally recognized and changed public conversation around abuse, power, and accountability. This is what it looks like to stop carrying what was never yours to carry. This is what it looks like to turn survival into solidarity. This is what it looks like to say, I will not endure this alone, and neither will anyone else. Or consider Nicole Cardoza, a Black woman wellness advocate and founder who built public education and community work around healing, rest, and equitable wellness. Her work addresses a common pattern for high achieving women, being valued for productivity while personal needs are minimized. She recognized that so many women were praised for their output, but neglected in their humanity. She created educational content and programs that framed rest, boundaries, and self protection as legitimate forms of care and leadership. Her platforms helped normalize conversations about sustainable wellness and the cost of overfunctioning. She became a visible voice in Black wellness and healing centered advocacy, and her work contributed to a cultural shift that validates rest and boundaries as necessary, especially for Black women navigating burnout. This is what it looks like to protect peace as a practice. This is what it looks like to say, My rest is not optional, and my boundaries are not negotiable. And then there is the research of Brene Brown on shame, vulnerability, courage, and leadership. Brown's work confronts the belief that vulnerability is weakness and that leaders must always appear unshakable. For years, she studied human connection, shame, and the behaviors that help people build meaningful lives and teams. She argues for courageous leadership that includes honesty, empathy, and emotional openness. Her work has helped normalize the idea that vulnerability can strengthen trust, connection, and resilience. Her books, talks, and research made vulnerability a mainstream leadership concept, and her work has influenced executives, educators, and organizations to rethink what healthy leadership looks like. This is what it looks like to redefine strength. This is what it looks like to say, I can be powerful and still be human. These women, Tarana Burke, Nicole Cardoza, Brene Brown, and Anastasia Barnes Holmes, are all doing the same work in different ways. They are teaching us that becoming softer does not mean becoming smaller. They are teaching us that boundaries are not cruelty. They are teaching us that rest is not laziness. They are teaching us that receiving is not selfishness. They are teaching us that vulnerability is not weakness. And they are teaching us that choosing ourselves does not automatically mean we are rejecting everyone else. Anastasia told me something that I think will resonate with every woman listening. She said, I am learning that peace is not passivity. Boundaries are not cruelty. Rest is not laziness. Receiving is not selfishness. Vulnerability is not weakness. And choosing myself does not automatically mean I am rejecting everyone else. This is the truth we need to hear. This is the permission we need to give ourselves. This is the soft girl era. So here's the question I want to leave you with today, the question that Anastasia posed to me, and the question I am now posing to you. What would change in your life if you stopped asking, how much more can I endure? And started asking, what am I no longer willing to carry? What would change? What would shift? What would open up? What would heal? I want you to sit with that question. I want you to let it settle into your spirit. I want you to let it challenge you, disrupt you, and ultimately freeze you. Because here is the truth: the greatest evidence of healing is not how much more you can endure, it is what you finally decide you no longer have to. And here's what I need you to do right now, today, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Right now, I need you to identify one thing you are carrying that is no longer yours to carry, one responsibility, one expectation, one relationship, one belief about what you owe the world in exchange for your existence. One thing, and I need you to put it down, not because you are weak, not because you are selfish, not because you are giving up, but because you are finally choosing yourself, because you are finally honoring the woman you are becoming, because you are finally recognizing that your peace, your rest, your boundaries, your softness are not luxuries, they are necessities. This is your invitation, this is your permission. This is your moment. Stop enduring. Start becoming. Stop surviving. Start thriving. Stop proving. Start protecting. The soft girl era is not a trend, it is a revolution. And it starts with you right here, right now. What are you no longer willing to carry? Answer that question and watch your life transform